Okay, here's a walking tour of Old San Juan. We're leaving from Plaza Colon and just walking down this lovely street with the outdoor seating. And this will lead you, if you just continue, it'll lead you to the harbor down here. And there's a lot of nice restaurants if you're looking for a quick bite. You can dine right here. And you've got the statue and even a Starbucks. So this is sort of a well-known spot with the outdoor dining, and then if you go down there you'll see a sailboat that leads to the harbor, and that's where the cruise ships dock, directly down there. If you just continue, you see the cobblestones here I was talking about. So even if you're in an Uber, they're gonna drive slower on those. So if you continue right down here, you can take this walkway and then walk it up to Paseo de la Princesa and to the governor's mansion. So that's a very nice walk I recommend doing, and it's one way to get from Plaza Colon back around to Morro. So it just depends how you want to do it. But this area here is often in the festivals very busy too, because it's sort of the entrance to Old San Juan. Okay, so here we are walking down from Plaza Colon to the harbor area, the harbor side of Old San Juan, Viejo San Juan. And there's also hotels here. The Sheraton. This is a big popular spot when the cruise ships are running because they all anchor right up here. You can see the docks right now are empty, but usually there's multiple cruise ships right out here, and that's what often fills Old San Juan during the day with tourists. So it's sort of a typical, thoroughfare. It reminds me of a European harbor thoroughfare with like senior frogs and some of the more kitschy restaurants. But it looks like Senior Frogs is closed. My guess is because of no cruises right now. So if you're looking to visit Old San Juan without the cruises, there's a lot less people, and that's why I think even just after I arrived I was thinking, boy, this isn't so many people like normal. There's a polo store there, so it's quite nice along the harbor here. You can see across the harbor over there is the Bacardi rum factory. If you ever do that tour, you can Uber there, or there's a way to take a ferry across. I think the ferry leaves right from in here, as I recall, and you take the ferry across, but then you got to get out there. There's the ferry, a ferry. And back then, this was so long ago, there wasn't Uber, but we got a ride with a taxi, I think, because it was a bit of a walk. But there's ways you can book the whole tour experience. Yeah, there's the ferry terminal. That'll take you right across the harbor. And you've got a CVS here. But what I want to show you up here, I think, I saw it is, I saw someone post I think there's a big yacht in the port here, so let's take a look. Yeah, right over there from Georgetown. So that's the other fun thing, is you never know who's in town, whose mega yacht will be anchored here in Old San Juan. And if you're down here, you can just take a walk along the harbor and take a look. And there's lots of activity. So the harbor side is calmer. The ocean side, you've got the nice breeze. And here's sort of this entrance, La Casita, the nice fountain. That's the Banco Popular building, the main headquarters. Very beautiful building. Looks like they're taking the opportunity to fix it up a little bit. So here we are, the Al Mirquab. Someone said royalty is in town, so that sounds Arab to me, or like the Middle East, but I'm not sure who owns it. I'm sure we can Google it and find out, but it's definitely, here's more of the harbor, and you got this nice little park area here, but it's definitely a super yacht in town visiting. You see how calm it is on the harbor side. So here it is, the Al Mirquab from Georgetown visiting Old San Juan. And that's just where we came from, through that gate. So if you're in Old San Juan, take a stroll along the harbor, and from there you can get to the Paseo de la Princesa. Oh, excuse me, that building is a different one here. That one there with the beautiful, it has beautiful stained glass, is the Banco Popular building. And if you continue up here to the left, you'll come to where the wall of Old San Juan starts. You can see it right up there. And that's where you can take that Paseo de la Princesa walkway, which I highly recommend. Okay, so there's the Banco Popular building. Very beautiful, as I was saying. And this is another plaza here where the cars turn. There's the super yacht down there. So if you just head up this plaza, down right here is the wall to Old San Juan. And this is what's very cool, because you can take this walkway here all the way down what's called the Paseo de la Princesa. Paseo de la Princesa. There you'll see the iconic watchtower. And this is a walkway that you can take down to the water here. And then if you like, you can actually keep following along the outer wall, because that's the wall to the old city, what protected the city. So we're outside it right now, down on the harbor side here. You can see it gets taller, so you can go up the wall there and climb up to get up to that level, or down here we're at sea level, walking the Paseo de la Princesa to this fountain, and then the fountain will emerge at the harbor again. Okay, so here we are walking the Paseo de la Princesa down to the harbor, and we're just outside the walls to Old San Juan, or Viejo San Juan. And this is a main thoroughfare. You can take, you'll see the Turismo Compañía de Turismo de Puerto Rico is right here. So it's celebrating 50 years, and they made this lovely walkway. You can go, the other end is that near the Banco Popular building, and you come out right by the cruise ship terminal, and this walkway then runs all the way across to this side of the harbor. So on my first trips to San Juan, I didn't understand this, but it's really lovely and a great walk to take, because the bonus is you once again you emerge from the walls here and you get a great view of the harbor. And it's also lovely at night. This fountain's all lit up. But you see to the right there, you can continue following this path all the way to El Morro if you like. But for sure head around here. There, you can see up there is, you eventually will come to the gates of Old San Juan, because the governor's mansion is right up there to the right as well. But here you get a great view of the harbor, and I'm just going to show you. You'll often see the sailboats come through here, and if you go and look to the right here, on the right above is the governor's mansion, and up on the right is again the walls to Old San Juan, leading all the way to El Morro out at the tip. So definitely check out Paseo de la Princesa when you're in Old San Juan. Makes for a great stroll along the water. And if you want to end up at El Morro and you have the ability to walk that far, you can actually take it all the way out there along the water, which is really cool. Again, it's the Paseo de la Princesa, and it starts at the Banco Popular building, you can see there, and runs all the way here to the harbor. Okay, so continuing from Paseo de la Princesa, if you enter these gates, you can take the walkway along the harbor here, and it's a nice place to take a stroll. Now once you start, you're going to be outside the wall until you get to the gate to Old San Juan, so just be aware that you can't quickly dart back into the city until you get to that gate. And up here we should see here you'll see the iconic turret, the guard tower. But you can see once we round this turn here what the wall is like, and they've been working on it, restoring it. Looks quite good. So right up there is the gate where you can enter into Old San Juan again, so it's not too bad. You can see they're working on it right here. And to my right is the governor's mansion. So this walk isn't too bad, but then if you go the next part, just be aware that walk continues all the way to El Morro. And you can see how big the wall is, so there's no way to stop once you're on the walk. You either have to go back or keep going. And when you get to El Morro, you can, if it's open, you can take the stairs up and exit there. But this, from Paseo de la Princesa to the gate to Old San Juan, this is not that long, so it's a great stroll you can take and then enter right back into Old San Juan. You'll see here, right near the Hotel El Convento. So if you need to take a break or get some food, you can do that there. And you'll see here, this is the gate, these huge doors, and this is where the Spanish governor would receive the diplomats from Spain. So you can still enter it today, and then you're right back inside Old San Juan, wherever you want to go. And again, to the right there is the governor's mansion. So that's the gate to Old San Juan. Definitely check out that walk next time you're here. One thing you'll notice is the gatos in San Juan everywhere, especially if you walk outside the wall. Also, if you walk up from the gate, be prepared for a steep incline, because remember we were at sea level along the harbor, but once you enter the city, you're climbing. Now this is a very historic hotel, Hotel El Convento. Used to be a convent, and if you're interested in seeing that, also the best sangria and mojitos to go right here, according to that sign. I have not had their margaritas, but this square is lovely if you come to Hotel El Convento. These two streets are lovely, leading down to the wall, and then you've also got the Catedral right here, which looks like it might be closed right now, but normally you can tour. Now, Lord Jim Leather, I'm gonna turn right, because if you go up the street and then on the right is the famous Umbrella Street. If you've seen people take the selfie with the umbrellas, that's right up here on the right, which leads, the street leads to the governor's mansion. And so, oh, just kidding, I think it's one more. You see that old building up there? I think it's this, yes, it's this next street. If you turn right, it's the Umbrella Street. So if you're looking to see that and get that shot, that's where to do it. And sometimes it can be easy to get a little turned around in Old San Juan. Thankfully, with Google Maps, you can usually work it out. But as soon as we turn here, they're pink. They change them, and you'll see it's the famous Umbrella Street. Oh, no problemo. Leading to the governor's mansion. Usually you can walk it, but it looks like it's closed right now past the gate. And down at the end is the governor's mansion behind that gate. So that's how to get to, oh, it's for breast cancer, pink this month. So they change these every few months. And that's how to get here. Okay, right here is Cafe El Punto. And I ate here after a walking tour maybe 2 years ago. It was recommended to me by the walking tour lady as good Puerto Rican food. I thought it was quite good. The churrasco I had was amazing, so I'm gonna check it out again today. And that's part of why I came here, was to eat some authentic Puerto Rican food once again. And I think it's made several lists here, so let's go in, and you enter sort of through an art gallery here, so it's very cool. This is what I think I had last time, the skirt steak with avocado. It was very good. Churrasco. So this is what I came back for, the churrasco avocado. On the giant avocado. I had it 2 years ago and it was delicious. Here at Cafe El Punto in Viejo San Juan. Update, the churrasco is as good as I remember, and this avocado is amazing too. So big. And definitely get the fried plantains, very good. And the churrasco is so tender. It's worth the trip back. Okay, Cafe El Punto was just as good as I remember. Even better if that's possible, the churrasco with avocado. And it's just one block up the street from the Umbrella. So if you look for it there, it's right here, Cafe El Punto. And I was very pleased. It's not like the cheapest place. My churrasco was 18 bucks. And I had a medalla and a water, so it was 25 total. And they want tips in cash this time. A lot of places will take a card, but here they said that, which is fine. They broke a 20 for me so I could leave a tip. And I'm only filming outside because this art gallery, as you go in, they don't want you filming. So that's why I didn't want to do more inside. But basically it's just off the Umbrella Avenue here. And I'm happy with it. It was worth coming back. Like I said, sometimes you eat somewhere and then you think, oh, it was so good. But sometimes it was just, a one-time thing. But this, I would say, was worth coming back when I was in Old San Juan. So definitely check it out when you're here. Okay, here's the Umbrella Street, Umbrella Avenue. Normally, well, they change them, but this month it's all pink for breast cancer. And this street leads to the governor's mansion, but right now it's closed. I think this is some sort of tour here. these scooters. Not sure exactly, but it's always something fun going on. These scooters are new. Look like an e-scooter, which look fun. The fat tire is good on these cobbles. Okay, this little church, chapel, is at the wall. And right in from there is the umbrella street. So if you see this along the wall, Chapel of Christ the Savior, you know you're right here along the wall. And then if you recall, down there is Paseo de la Princesa, the walkway to the fountain. Runs right along the wall here. So that's where we came earlier. And it's turning into a nice evening. Those dark clouds that were over there kind of passed through. And as I was saying earlier, you can see the sailboats passing by the San Juan Bay heading out. So if you're coming, if you don't walk the Paseo de la Princesa, you instead come up the wall, you can come along here to get to the umbrella street. Okay, so here we're back at Hotel El Convento and the cathedral. And I want to show you this street here. It's a cool street. There's a popular spot to get a local delicacy, the frozen ice pop, limber de paca, right on the corner here. But this is a very cool, pretty little street you can take down to the harbor again and get a view of the city. And I like the buildings along here. You'll see the cobblestone streets, so that's why I was saying the cars drive slow, and even your Uber would need to drive slow on these cool cobblestones. But when I took the walking tour of San Juan, they brought us here if you want to get one of those popsicles. It's right here with the beautiful pink flowers. There's a gato. Limbers, they're called. Caleta de las Monjas. And you can get the refresh right here. Very cheap, 75 cents. I mean, very good deal. Okay, so now right here leads to the governor's mansion. So you'll often see the La Policia here. But because that other road is closed right now, you can't go as far down the umbrella street to see it as you normally can, but you can get right here. You can see it from this view. There's the gate of Old San Juan, and then the governor's mansion right on the harbor, which you can see why they built it there. Very cool spot. And again, there's the walkway beneath the towers there. So this is a cool place to come get a view of the governor's mansion and a view of the San Juan harbor and just drink it all in, especially in the evening like this. So I recommend coming to Old San Juan in the evening if you can, or late afternoon to evening like I did, because you see this nice cloud cover has come up a little and it makes it quite pleasant with the breeze here. Okay, so from this overlook you can continue your way up along the wall and walk through these gates. Continue your walking tour. And it's a great view from up above the walls of Old San Juan. So highly recommend that if the gates are open, and again it's around 6:30, which is a nice time of night to be strolling through here because the sun isn't so intense. And actually earlier it was quite warm, hot, and I was glad I took that little break to eat because it gets it's more pleasant now as we get towards evening. Oh, and out here is another pink building in the Gatos. I think these gates have been closed before when I tried to come out here, but if you want a good view again of the governor's mansion, you can get out here and get a pretty good view back of the mansion and the turrets there. So we're continuing our tour along the walls of Old San Juan, and I hear a tennis ball. There's some folks playing tennis. This guy is practicing against the wall, and a nice time to do it after the heat of the day. A young girl practicing guitar there on the wall. It's a very peaceful setting. And part of what I love about coming here is you're surrounded by water in Old San Juan, both the harbor and the ocean side. And there's something very calming about just hearing those waves at the end of the day. So if you walk up along the wall, you see El Morro rising in front of us. Like I said, I haven't actually been down here before, but this must be parking, I think possibly for employees. But El Morro has a large expanse of grass lawn in front of it because it's that was how they defended it, the yard. For the shooting lanes, it was all open. So that's what you'll see when you get to the front. Okay, so here we are. You see the National Park Service sign. We kind of came in along the wall, along the harbor, through there. You can walk. And we're sort of approaching El Morro from this side. So as I told you, you can take that walkway along the outside of the wall. But then this brings you up here. And there looms El Morro, the fort, ahead of us. So no alcohol or glass, no scooters, no rollerblading, no bicycle. So this is the large grass expanse leading to El Morro. Like I said, they keep it mowed. It's quite impressive. So if your Uber drops you off up there, you've still got a long ways to go to walk to the fort, because El Morro clings to the very outer edge of the rocks there because it guards the harbor. That was what was so unique about its spot, how it can guard the entire harbor, anyone entering this bay. And Puerto Rico means rich port, so it was a very important strategic defense. And you see people gathered here for the sunset. It's a great public area at the tip of Old San Juan. Now, if you take that sidewalk I mentioned along the sea, I believe our Morro closes at 6, might be 5 right now, but anyway, if they're open, there's stairs you can come up inside and then exit. But I think I'm recalling this correct. If they're closed, then you can't. So you gotta think about the timing on that. But that's a fun way to get there as well, outside the seawall. Here we are at El Morro, the fort, the very tip of Old San Juan. And I'm about, if you look back this way, that's where the road is and the entrance. If you take an Uber here, that's where they'll drop you off, and then there's this long sidewalk out here. And again, that was meant as a defense, this open field, and then the fort with the big walls guarding the harbor. But during the day when it's sunny, it's a warm walk out here. So again, if you can plan, late afternoon, evening's a nice time to visit, or early morning. Probably a little cooler, although it warms up fast here. So here we are. And the great thing is you can be out here at night. You can't go in, but you can jog out. This girl just jogged out. And visit even at night when it's cooler. So let's see what it says. (9:30 to 4:30) is the hours right now in March 2021. $10 adults. Children under 16 are free. And I've done the tour. It's cool. It's definitely worth it. There's some folks coming out. So maybe there's the door I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be open down to the seawall. I think that's where they're coming from. But the inside has good exhibits. You go in those big doors. It's definitely worth a visit. El Morro in Old San Juan. And then down to our left is the La Perla district, if you've heard of that. That's on the ocean side. Okay, so if you go over here facing El Morro to the right side, this part anyone can go on. It's not the fee part, it's the grass. Oh, there, the lighthouse just started flashing. But anyway, you probably want to do it during the day. But you can go down over here and get down the stairs. And the stairs take you to the path around the outside of the walls, the walking path. So remember, there's the door, and I was remembering correctly, they close the gate at night. But as long as El Morro's open, you can get up through there. So if you take the path along the Paseo de la Princesa and then walk all the way around the walls, you can exit, end up at El Morro, and come up right here and end up here. So there's an entrance you'll see right through here, and some folks just hanging out. But that's the door you go through right down there, and you end up at the very tip of El Morro, which is cool to see the waves out there. So again, at night you can be out here, look around, and on this side we face the open ocean, so there's also a nice breeze. And if you look down there, as I was saying, that's the La Perla district. Quite notorious, if you will, nightlife and bars. A little bit of a tough reputation, you know. Most people don't go there alone as tourists. So here's El Morro by night. And again, it's free to visit the grounds, which is great. Like today, I got here too late, closed at 4:30, but I can still walk around, enjoy a little bit before I head back to my Airbnb. Now, if you're looking for an Uber, you want to get back to the road there. That's the closest you could call an Uber. Or you could also work your way back through the streets to Plaza Colon.